Hello, this is your virtual life coach, Michael Lewis. Today, let us talk about kindness. It's awesome power. Now, not too long ago, a book came out that was published by a group of scientists who disputed Charles Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest. They have a new concept. They call it survival of the friendliest. They say the most successful species have not been the ones with the physical strength and the endurance and the alpha males that go out and conquer other species and walk around dripping with blood and all that. They said actually the most successful strategy in life is friendliness and cooperation. And they had all kinds of experiments to back it up. One primary example that they gave is dogs. Dogs descend from wolves, but they're the friendly descendants of wolves. They're the nice descendants of wolves. Long, long ago, they got attracted to humans and became friendly to humans. They changed their wolfy behavior and they changed their appearance and their developmental makeup and everything else to be more suited to the needs of humans. And so you've got like hundreds of millions of very happy dogs. On the other hand, the wolves who decided to, they're going to stay the way they were, kill things and bay at the moon and be, terrifying and so forth. They're the ones who are threatened and endangered. So dogs were the population of wolves that decided, you know what, we're going to be friendly with these humans. We're not going to try to pick fights. We're going to be friendly rather than hunting. And they won big. They won. They also studied, these scientists, they also studied these two very similar monkeys, chimpanzees and bonobos. Now, I'd never heard of bonobos, but I'd heard of chimpanzees. And apparently chimpanzees and bonobos are very similar to each other. As a matter of fact, you can't really tell the difference between them by appearance, but you can tell the difference between them by temperament. Chimpanzees make war. They make war on each other. They get irked very easily. They chew out. I mean, they eat each other. They'll eat you. They'll eat your brains. They are very, very violent. They'll fight over nothing. Bonobos, on the other hand, in the first place, they are a matriarchal society. They are governed by females. They don't kill one another. They engage in sex every chance they get. Lots of love. They're also very, very natural sharers. They try to share things with you. They come on, have part of my banana. Here, take. You're looking hungry. Take it. It's fine. They'll share their food with other bonobos. They never outgrow their willingness to do so. And they're completely selfless, not selfish. So if you're ever invited to tea by a bonobo, definitely bring your toothbrush. So currently, and this was a very cool thing, we are, amazingly enough, the friendliest, most cooperative human species ever. There have been other human species, they're all gone now. But we're the ones who won out. Good old, Homo sapiens. We won. We're number one. And the difference between us and the others is apparently we cooperate with each other and we work together and we're friendly, believe it or not. It's a mechanism that we've got. When that mechanism is turned off, we can, of course, be unbelievably cruel. But when it's turned on, that's when we win. That's when we progress. That's when we do well. So all that stuff about evolution, natural selection, survival of the fittest, and all that stuff, tooth and claw, ow, that is all incorrect. Just be friendly and kind and share and make love and all will be well. So this webinar, this short little moment we spend with each other is all about turning on that mechanism to the fullest so that you can be successful and win, like the dogs and the bonobos, but even more so. So let me ask you something. Have you been treated unkindly, in the last year or so? Well, there you go. This is a subject that, it has found its time, I think. I think personally, I think kindness is the very best thing. And I will kill anyone who dares to contradict me. I'm just kidding. Kindness is a nice thing, and it's hard for people to see that it's actually very strong and powerful. That nice things can be strong and powerful, yet they are. And this time we spend together may very well wind up being an infomercial for being nice and kind and good to one another. And if so, so be it. You know, see if you can think of someone that you once knew, that you always think of with warm thoughts, probably right in front of your face. Now, I would guess that that person can do no wrong as far as you're concerned, and that person, among other things, showed kindness to you. Am I right or am I right? There you go. Now, kind, K-I-N-D, comes from an old English word, which I can't pronounce. It looks like a jind, something like that, which means that which is natural, which implies that this is the natural way to be, as opposed to mean and nasty. And, you know, this is the old English. This is during the Dark Ages, when I don't think they let you into the Dark Ages unless you were mean and nasty. So this is a big deal, being kind. So it is the natural thing. It is the natural thing to be kind. You know, long ago, we had a friend come over. He'd had a terrible day, classic terrible day. I kid you not. In one day, he lost his job. His wife left him, literally, for his best friend, literally. And he found out that his daughter was on heavy street drugs, and they'd never known it. Found this all in one day. And, you know, it's a good friend. He sat down in our living room and just hung his head, started to just bemoan his life. And our cat, who never does these things, our cat jumped on his lap, put her paw on his shoulder, like comfortingly, and she reached up and just started licking his face and licking his face and licking his face while purring. And our friend just started sobbing. He just started sobbing. For years after that, to this day, he's always talking about how much our cat helped him with that simple gesture of kindness. And before long, you know, he got a new job, got a new wife, got his daughter into rehab. She's doing fine now. And, but he never got over the kindness that our cat showed him that day. Just a teaspoon of kindness will overcome a whole moving van full of cruelty and misfortune. If you've ever received an unprompted kindness showed you at any time in your life, I'm sure you still have lovely, loving thoughts about that person to this day. So kindness is very powerful. It's in fact the best thing that we have as a species. It is the best thing that we have because it contains your ability to be another person. And by that, I mean, you can feel what they feel, you can understand what they feel, and you know what it's like to be in their shoes. Another thing is, in the whole universe, you are the only thing that gives kindness and understanding to others. If you look around whatever room you're in right now, or if you're outside, your computer does not give forth kindness. Your car doesn't. Your Cheerios for breakfast don't. You do. And it's tempting, you know, to fight fire with fire when somebody's being really aggravating at you or being very, you know, just horrific towards you. Just yell back at the guy who's yelling at you. But it's actually a lot more fun to kill them with kindness and sincerity. You know, I was walking down the street, somebody yelled at me and said, you make me sick. I didn't even know this person. I didn't know why they were saying this, but he said it with great sincerity. And I said the first thing that came to my mind, which was, you're okay. You're going to have a good day today. You're fine. He just walked away. He didn't know what to do with that. He really didn't know what to do with that. You know, sometimes it's really hard to be kind when every fiber of your being screams at you that now is the time to exercise hate, or at least anger. You know, there was somebody who was very, very close to me years ago who was having the worst kind of year that you could possibly imagine. Just the worst kind of year. He was in and out of jail, you know, just awful things were happening to him. Most of them not of his doing, but you know, it was affecting him up here. And I was winding up spending a tremendous amount of my time with him, you know, doing errands for him, visiting him in jail, just about everything. You know, I pretty much put my life on hold for this person. And finally got out of jail and starting a new life for himself. And I called him up, you know, just checking in on him to see how he was doing. And first thing out of his mouth was, "I'm busy. What do you want?" And I almost said, "You ungrateful so-and-so. I have put my life on hold for nearly a year for you. And this is how you're repaying me. You know, you can just blah, 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 blah." But I caught myself, and I recommend you do this too. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And what I wound up saying was, what do I want? I want people to be happy and get along. I want you to be happy and get what you want in your life. Those are some of the things I want. But right now, I'm just checking in on you, making sure that you're all settled. So he calmed down and he said, I'm fine. I'm fine. We'll talk later. And every day of my life since then, I'm grateful that I counted to 3 before I said any vile things to him, because it turned out that would be the last conversation I ever had with him. The next day, he died in an accident. So I'm grateful that the last things that he heard, from me at least, were kindness and love, and hopefully that's carried him through to wherever he is now. I also read about a Holocaust survivor. She'd endured unbelievable, terrible, unspeakable things, naturally. And one interviewer was cold-hearted and thoughtless enough to ask her what her worst memory was. And she said, "My worst memory is not of what they did to me." Apparently her worst memory, and she'd been through Auschwitz, was when they were loading her family onto the train car, when they were packing them into the train cars to go to Auschwitz. She yelled at her little brother, who was like 6 or 7 at the time. She yelled at him because he hadn't tied his shoes. And those turned out to be the last words he would ever hear from her, because he didn't make it. And she has regretted it for the rest of her life. So you never know what the future is going to bring. You know, you'll never know what impact on others and on you your thoughtless or thoughtful words will have. So count those 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And what will it be? Will you be kind? Hope so. Well, that's all I have to say today. If you like this webinar, please be persuaded to like and subscribe. Meanwhile, love each other, take your vitamins, observe posted speed limits, play nice, and never lose sight of who you are. Never, 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 never lose sight of who you are. So long for now.